Coming up on AgweekTV, the government shutdown is starting to affect farmers and ag businesses.
Farmers are doing their planning for the 2019 crop season at farm shows like the Dakota Farm Show here in Vermilion.
And farm groups step up with checkoff dollars to fill state and federal research funding gaps. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Rose Dunn. The 50th annual South Dakota Pork Producers Council annual convention was in Sioux Falls this week. It featured the annual business meeting, various speakers, policy updates, and pork industry awards. Michelle Rook is on location and joins us now with details.
Rose, the big buzz here at the convention has been the excitement surrounding the tremendous growth in the pork industry in the state and region. It was evident in the crowd and the record trade show with 150 vendors. Hog numbers have grown in South Dakota by a whopping 12% in 2018, or approximately 300,000 head. And the business is providing an opportunity for the next generation. Well, beyond the pork expansion that we're seeing in South Dakota, pork producers here at the convention are also talking about trade and the government shutdown, and here to visit about that is Craig Anderson. He's on the South Dakota Pork Producers Council, also on the National Pork Producers Council. And Craig, let's talk about this government shutdown first. What has it meant to pork producers? How has it impacted you?
Well, it slowed things down a little bit, but basically for like the food inspection services and stuff, that hasn't been shut down, so we still have a good, safe food supply. And then the market news analysis, and that has been the mandatory reporting has continued on.
What about the lack of funding for Customs and Border Patrol, especially in light of the concerns about African swine fever?
Right, that's another place that we're really concerned that that's our first line of defense for keeping things out. And so we don't want to have anything slip through, and so that is one of the primary things that needs to keep up and running for it.
And of course, trade and the trade war has kind of dominated the discussions for most of the year for pork producers. It sounds like the meetings with China this week that there was at least some progress made, right?
It sounded real positive. This is the best that it sounded like for a few months now. So we are hopeful that things are going to be able to progress and stay going in the positive direction.
Do you think that they will make some additional pork purchases then?
We're sure anticipating that they're going to. It might not be quite as fast as what we would like it to be, but I think anything would be a step in the right direction.
All right, well, no shortage of issues here, that's for sure. Craig Anderson joining us from the South Dakota Pork Producers Council annual convention. With the government shutdown, USDA did not release the January 11th reports this week. The data was delayed indefinitely and included the final crop production report, quarterly stocks, small grain summary, and winter wheat seedings. However, farmers don't think the lack of information had much market impact.
It depends upon how long we miss one report. If it gets to be extended beyond that, then the people who won't know what our export situation is, that might come into effect. But right now, I think we're okay.
He says he has a broker who handles his grain marketing, so he doesn't pay much attention to the reports anyway. The government shutdown has also forced Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue to extend the deadline for farmers to apply for market facilitation program payments. The deadline was originally January 15th, but will now be extended for a period of time equal to the number of business days FSA offices were closed once the government reopens. He also announced SNAP benefits will be funded through February. Grain farmers are looking at planting more corn and less soybeans in the 2019 growing season. And that was on display in the talk and the buying trends we saw at the first farm show in the region for 2019, the Dakota Farm Show in Vermilion. Exhibitors like Enriched Plant Food, which sells starter fertilizer, are already seeing the trend for more corn in their early sales.
We've got about 30 or 40% of our customer base that has already raised their corn acres going into 2019.
Seed companies are also hearing from farmers planning for 2019 that they'll plant more corn and less soybeans.
Right now I think we'll probably go down that 5 to 6%. We planted an exorbitant amount of beans last year just because of the input costs. The cash flows were a lot better on soybeans last year.
In fact, farmers planted record soybean acreage in 2018. However, this year, the corn to soybean price ratio is currently more profitable for corn.
Right now, the corn is it's a lot easier to cash flow a corn crop than it is a soybean crop.
However, the weather must cooperate for farmers to plant more corn, especially after a wet fall. Climatologist Owen Taylor says it's too early to predict that or if El Nino will strengthen to produce above trendline yields.
But that's the way that I think the odds shake out, at least a slight advantage to being slightly above the trend for yields in this year.
Even so, farmers have been tentative buyers at farm shows as they look to 2019 and tighten their belts, waiting for a resolution to the trade war and for prices to improve.
I think people are concerned with some of the prices, and that's been an ongoing concern. But I think people are optimistic as well and hope that they can see a turnaround this year.
I'll be back later in the show with more from the South Dakota Pork Producers Council Annual Convention. But up next on AgweekTV, we'll have a story about how farm groups are stepping up with checkoff dollars to fill in the government funding research gap.
Cattle ranchers choose us for our genetic excellence, our people-first approach to customer service, and our data-driven profitability. They say we were made for this. Come see for yourself. Join us for Top Herefords Volume 19 production sale, February 8th at the ranch near Grace City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Herefords bull, you'll also get the added benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. View the Volume 19 catalog at topherefords.com. Top Herefords, we were made for this.
United Lease and Finance has been doing business since 1987, a full-service lease company handling lease transactions from inception to close. United Lease and Finance understands the needs of their clients and are familiar with the business they work with. With leasing, you get flexible payment plans, improved cash flow, great rates, easy terms, and leasing does not tie up your credit. Contact Roger, Troy, or Dale today and let them show you how you can lower your cost per acre at 1-800-550-1827.
If you're interested in health, good food, and sustainability, the Northern Plains Sustainable Ag Society invites you to attend the 2019 Northern Plains Food and Farming Conference, January 24th through the 27th at the Holiday Inn in Fargo. The three-day agenda features expert panelists and presenters to discuss topics that can help area producers increase profits on their operation. Register at npsas.org to celebrate 40 years of innovation and sustainability at the 2019 Northern Plains Food and Farming Conference.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Upgrade your trailer to electric with the Rolltech electric system from AgriCover. Strong, flexible pivot arms and motor mount rotate and telescope, allowing the roll tube to rise and flex over heaped loads. The positive automatic lock is impossible to back off to control the flow of grain. This integrated system uses one wireless remote to operate up to 10 tarps and hoppers, keeping your driver out of the dust, rain, and harm's way. See the Rolltech system in action at an AgriCover dealer near you.
Ag research is vital to the success of farming, but government research funding has been declining. Still, work goes on at universities and research centers across the country, thanks in large part to money from commodity groups' checkoff dollars. As Jenny Schlecht found, it's become an important way for researchers to focus on issues that matter to farmers.
NDSU spends about $25 million in grant money a year for ag research across North Dakota. About 20% of that comes from commodity groups.
The importance of those commodity groups can't be overstated in terms of how important the dollars are to the research program, but also how important the opportunity for that dialogue and to understand what they feel is important in terms of the research activities is definitely something we value a lot.
The state legislature cut funding for research extension centers by 13% during the last legislative session, and federal funding has been flat with extreme competition for federal grants. But commodity groups know the work scientists are doing is vital to agriculture. The North Dakota Soybean Council funds research on basic crop production, as well as innovative uses for crops and educational programs for growers.
The research has returned about a 40% return on investment, and any of us would take 40%. It just shows that this money comes back multiple times to our agricultural community and benefits all agriculture.
The North Dakota Wheat Commission has always put a high priority on research. It spends $1.2 to $1.7 million a year on research. That's about a third of the group's annual budget, and it's been increasing over the last 10 years.
Research has always been a fairly large budget priority for our board. Our producers definitely see the benefit in having producer dollars invested in research.
Although the amount of checkoff dollars varies with crop conditions, the money funds an important portion of ag research. In Fargo, this is Jenny Schlecht for Ag Week.
Jenny will have more on this in the next Ag Week magazine. The Leland family has been a big name in the beef business for generations. They raise Red Angus cattle, a breed that's been surging recently in popularity. Mikkel Pates traveled to the ranch about 35 miles southeast of Sidney, Montana, near the North Dakota state line.
Everybody smile with your The Lelands breed more than 500 registered mother cows each year. They register them through the Red Angus Association of America, as well as North Dakota and Montana associations. Third-generation rancher Todd Leland says Red Angus is a good breed to raise when help is hard to come by.
Yeah, Red Angus make very nice females and do a good job of taking care of their calves and have a nice quiet disposition and nice cattle to be around.
Todd's gradually taking over the operation from his father Mel, whose father homesteaded in 1911. Mel and his wife Luella started raising Red Angus in the 1960s, shortly after the breed was established. Mel says the meat quality is similar to the more popular Black Angus, but he says the Red Angus are known for being very docile.
They have easy calving and they're protective of their calves. They take good care of them. They have good milk production and very rapid growth. So that's very important, particularly how we run our cattle in range conditions. They have to take care of themselves.
Mel's wife Luella grew up on a nearby ranch and has always loved raising cattle.
I can't imagine living any other way.
They've seen lots of changes over the decades, mostly making their job easier.
We do as much yet as we can horseback, and that's how I grew up. But now a lot of our ranching decisions and everything is done in our office and on the computer.
And then here we have their what will be their registered name.
When we first started, we didn't even have telephones. We couldn't have done what we're doing now, without that technology.
And now they're happy to hand over the reins to Todd and his wife Carla. Near Sidney, Montana, this is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.
Up next on Ag Week TV, Michelle is back with the CEO of the National Pork Board, talking about the exciting growth in their industry. And later, we'll meet a longtime corn farmer whose success is fueled by a nearby ethanol plant.
With the all-new GreenFit system from Ricard, plug and play is finally a reality when using John Deere AutoTrac guidance with existing new products like the Challenger 1000 series or all-new C-Series row gators from Butler Machinery. GreenFit is an authorized navigation interface that utilizes existing John Deere AutoTrac guidance system to steer most Challenger tractors and sprayers. GreenFit eliminates the worry of learning and converting to a new steering system when buying an industry-leading Challenger from Butler Machinery. Learn more about GreenFit at butlermachinery.com.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
For corn and soybean farmers, it's been a challenging year. So join us as we look towards the future and make sense of international trade at the second annual Northern Corn and Soybean Expo, featuring speakers Mark Mayfield and Chip Flory, with breakout sessions, free breakfast, lunch, and a large corn and soybean trade show. You don't want to miss the second annual Corn and Soybean Expo, Tuesday, February 12th at the Fargo Dome.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
At Kenner Simmental Ranch, we've been offering precision genetics and exceptional customer service in the beef industry for more than 40 years. From power bulls to calving ease bulls, our balanced EPDs and performance produce docility that truly satisfies our producers and consumers. Come see for yourself on February 9th at the Kenner Ranch for our annual production sale. We'll be offering 129 black and red, Simmental and Sim Angus and Red Angus bulls, plus 65 red heifers. Kenner Simmentals, the best in beef from pasture to plate.
Welcome back to AgweekTV. We're here at the South Dakota Pork Producers Council Annual Convention and Trade Show, and joining us right now is National Pork Board CEO Bill Even. Bill, I want to talk about export markets because with all the tariff and trade headwinds that we had this last year in 2018, you still ended up with a very good year.
Absolutely. Knock on wood, pork exports to our major markets actually held pretty steady. A large part of that was the fact South Korea really stepped into the gap and bought a lot of pork. That's because we got a free trade agreement with them that's working very well. We've seen some slowdown in some of the sales, particularly to China and Mexico, who are also major markets for us. I think overall, the good news is pork sales exports stayed fairly steady and strong. The bad news side of it is that the price was lower, and that always impacts the producer.
And Bill, what have you seen for domestic demand, especially in light of the record slaughter numbers that we've seen this year?
Well, thank God for the U.S. consumer, right? We all love bacon, and domestic pork demand held up quite well. The average American is now eating over 52 pounds of pork a year, which is a new record for us here in recent memory. A few years ago, that was at 48 pounds, so we've seen Americans move towards the flavor that is pork.
Thanks so much, Bill Even, CEO of the National Pork Board here at the South Dakota Pork Producers Annual Convention. Up next, we'll have your agri-weather outlook.
Weather pattern across the Pacific and North America is still very much in an El Nino pattern. And while we've had some mild weather of late, we are going to be getting some changes. And part of that is going to be a bit of a cold snap once again for many areas of the Northern Plains, Great Lakes area, and the eastern seaboard. Not a really frigid, terrible cold snap, but definitely turning colder with some fairly chilly temperatures. This one, though, looks a little more like a dry cold overall. Let me show you. Jet stream pattern this week still going to be split into two main segments. Southern jet is still by far the strongest one, so really the frigid air is pretty well bottled up around Hudson Bay and in northern Canada. But over the course of the week, looks like the colder weather will begin to at least trickle southward, and there is not a great deal of warm weather. South Florida, parts of the southern plains, parts of the southwest have some heat, but most of it is really not very warm. And as the week goes along, some pretty cold weather will be sagging southward into southern Canada, and as we get into the second week, we may even get a little bit of that coming into the U.S., but I don't look for a massive intrusion of Arctic air, at least not this time just yet. As far as precipitation goes, one system moving out of the southeast right now, that's going to kind of move out to sea. Southern California and parts of the deserts will be getting some rain. The mountains looking to get some snow around the middle part of the week. Any precipitation, northern plains, Midwest is going to be pretty scattered and mostly light. There may be a system coming out late in the week or over the weekend that could bring some snow to the Midwest, turning into the Northeast. And then, as the pattern starts getting a little more active and the cold weather comes down, there will be some areas of snow in the Rocky Mountains that might get fairly heavy. Pacific Northwest will be getting some rain, but I do not really anticipate any serious widespread snowstorms over the next couple of weeks.
Nothing holds more promise than a seed. And when it comes from Peterson Farm Seed, it's backed with a promise from us. We will sell no seed we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm, so that growers like Pete can keep a promise of his own, to build a profitable business with his kids and give them the opportunity to one day do the same with theirs. Grow your promise. Grow Peterson Farm Seed.
DTE is your headquarters for flatbeds and service bodies for your truck. Whether you need to haul bales, heavy commercial equipment, or take every tool with you, DTE has the truck equipment you need. We have over 200 units on hand, or will custom build a flatbed or service body on your truck.
Like this Dewey's bale bed with dual lift cylinder arms. Lift, load, and handle your bales with ease.
When you need help at the farm, your business, or in the oil patch, count on DTE. DTE, let us build a truck for you.
attend the region's premier ag technology event, the 2019 Precision Ag Summit, January 21st and 22nd at the North Dakota Farmers Union Conference Center in Jamestown. You'll learn about the current trends of precision agriculture, technological applications, and demonstrations for successful implementation. Hear from industry experts, producers, and more. Exhibitor space and sponsorship opportunities are still available. Visit precisionagriculturesummit.com for more information or to register for the 2019 Precision Agricultural Summit.
Make sure your farm equipment is season ready with an uptime inspection from your Titan Machinery service professionals. Titan Machinery's team of Case IH factory-trained service technicians has the knowledge and experience to find, correct, and prevent mechanical issues that could shut you down during the season. Your planting and harvest windows are short. For genuine Case IH parts and service, schedule an off-season uptime inspection at Titan Machinery today. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer.
Steffes. We have representatives everywhere. Through North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota, we can find a buyer for what you are selling. We know how to market your farmland or equipment. Give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way.
This segment of AgweekTV brought to you by the North Dakota Corn Utilization Council and the North Dakota Ethanol Council. About 12,000 North Dakota grain farmers planted nearly 3.5 million acres of corn in 2018. The USDA's Ag Statistics Service says corn is the third-ranked acreage crop in the state, and much of it goes to ethanol production. Mikkel Pates talked to a grower who says his expansion of corn acres has allowed his operation to thrive and make room for the next generation.
I've been on this farm all my life.
The Enger family has been raising corn on their farm in eastern North Dakota since the 1940s when they picked it and put it in a corn crib.
There was a time when we thought 100 bushel corn was just great, and now we've probably doubled that in some fields.
Today, brothers Jeff and Delray Enger, their wives and two sons, grow about 3,500 acres each of soybeans and corn. They started transitioning away from small grains about 15 years ago.
We were struggling with at that time with the wheat and the barley diseases. About that time, the corn and soybean genetics were really developing, and so we were able to switch over to that and allowed the younger generations to come in.
All the corn goes to the Spiritwood ethanol plant near Jamestown, just 17 miles away.
There was a time when we had a hard time finding a market for our corn. You take the ethanol industry away from it right now, where would you go with it, So you were pretty much dependent on foreign markets.
In addition, the Engers return an ethanol byproduct, distiller's grain, to their farm for their cattle feedlot.
That's really been an asset to our farm. It's allowed us a market plus a feed facility. We look at an ethanol plant as a feed facility, the high protein DDGs that we get from there.
Looking ahead, Enger sees even more opportunity. He'd like to see more ethanol exports developed, as well as developing the 15% ethanol makes into fuels, known as E15. Near Marion, North Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.
You can read much more about this in the next Ag Week magazine. True Shrimp has announced plans to build a first-of-its-kind shrimp facility in Madison, South Dakota. Construction of the 67-acre harbor will start in June. The facility will raise 8 million pounds of shrimp annually in a near-natural and disease-free environment. Laverne, Minnesota was the original site, but ran into permitting issues. Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll preview the events at the upcoming Corn and Soybean Expo.
Get ready for the biological revolution. AgZyme by Ag Concepts is the leading biological soil enhancement product on the market today. AgZyme improves soil health and fertilizer efficiency for healthier crops and better yields.
Definitely is making a difference. I really feel that it gives me a bump in the soybeans and corn. I would say 55 up to 70 bushel soybeans. We even had as high as 75. Probably the best bang for your buck.
Join the biological revolution with AgZyme by Ag Concepts.
When the water's high and your yields are low, 'cause your fields have no place for water to flow, just one call takes care of it all. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
When harvest comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. North Star Ag offers the Lofness GrainLogix Grain Bag Loader to deliver versatile grain storage performance load after load. Lofness's user-friendly grain baggers are easy to load and unload, perfect to get your harvest in the bag. North Star Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery, and is a full-service Meridian hopper bin dealer. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used equipment inventory or give us a call.
AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Welcome back to AgweekTV. We have a couple of special guests joining us now for this Soy Insight. The co-chairs of next month's Northern Corn and Soybean Expo at the Fargo Dome, Matt Gast and Ryan Wanzik. This is the second year corn and soy are joining forces for one event. Matt, earlier in the show we had a story about how important checkoff dollars are to ag research around the country. Will you be sharing any new research at the Expo?
Yeah, we have an expanded research pavilion at the Expo. We feel that's an important point to touch on. Roughly 30% of North Dakota soybean checkoff dollars go to research. And so we'll have experts from NDSCU touching on the latest research and what they're finding and what they're researching.
Lots of important information for growers. Okay, and who are the featured speakers this year?
This year it is Mark Mayfield and Chip Flory. Chip is on AgriTalk now, and then Mark Mayfield is an author and a kind of a comedian type guy, so he's going to be the MC for the day and give his talk also.
And I'm sure this year the hot topic is trade.
Yeah, trade is the hot topic. So this year, as the Expo Committee, we felt that it was very important to have that our number one topic to touch on. And so there will be leading experts in the industry to talk about that throughout the day. We even have a panel that they will be on to discuss that.
And Ryan, the associations also hold their annual meetings at the Expo and will share updates with growers. Why is that important?
The grower associations are here for the growers. It's important for them to come and see what we're doing for them. And also, we hold our annual elections at those meetings for the different district spots.
Okay, thanks you guys for being here today. Now, once again, the event is at the Fargo Dome on February 12th. It is free thanks to your checkoff dollars, but farmers need to go to northerncornsoyexpo.com to register. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of AgWeek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the AgWeek app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.